back to another show of Sports Inc. With Mark Gregory. I'm Scott Taylor. We're gonna have two separate quick shows today. One for the South Bugle and one for the North Bugle. Start off with talking about the South Bugle. A lot of action happened, both in high school action and in other action. We'll start off with Mark Gregory here. He's gonna talk a little bit about some Joyous Slammers winning the first year, winning the Frontier League.
It's got huge. I mean, it couldn't be any better too. Class act people, class act organization. Everything that happened there last year with the Jackhammers left a real bad taste in the city's mouth. You know, the way that they went out and the way that everything happened. And for this group of people to come in here, put this team together, put this this franchise together, have local talent. I mean, you see Josh Flores from Providence is in there. Carmen Pignatello is the pitching coach. You have Billy Petrick saw action from Morris in the final game, and then JCA's Ryan quickly closed it out. It's a huge win for the franchise and the team and for the city. I mean, it was great to see them win in their first year, and hopefully next year now that these crowds get better and support this team.
The Cubs and Sox struggling. We had the Will County Cracker Jacks win a title and the Joyous Slammers win a title.
Yeah.
So baseball fans, at least in this general area, have to be happy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it was and they played good ball. I mean, and every game too was always exciting ball. Every game the Slammers got behind. Every game in the series, all 4 games. They lost game 1, then they ended up winning game 2. Game 3, dramatic bottom 9th home run, walk-off homer, and then the clincher. They started about 40 minutes late, had a 2.5-hour rain delay. Then they came in and when the game finally played, got the big win. So yeah, it was huge for the area.
And also, another big event in the area was NASCAR. You saw that yesterday. Smoke takes the title.
Yeah, talk about the rain out. The rain delay on Sunday for the Slammers. That same rain washed out the Geico 400 at Chicagoland. Obviously they did everything that they could to get that in there. The dryers were out all day, and then just about when they were about to go under green flag, here comes another band of rain, and then just washed out to the next day. But drivers were happy. Obviously, the first race of the chase this year. Scott, you and I looked pretty good there too. We did our point counterpoint in the NASCAR preview section. I picked Kevin Harvick. You picked Tony Stewart. We did finish 1-2. Unfortunately, you beat me on about a half a mile.
What don't I not beat you at?
About a half a lap of gas. Smoke had about a half lap left in him. The 29 Budweiser was fine with gas. So had Smoke run out, I'd have got you. But nonetheless, Tony Stewart did end up winning that thing, and it was a great crowd even for a Monday after the rain. It was just a nice event all along. Then staying regional national action, you were on a Cog Hill this year for what could be the final time for the BMW Open.
Yeah, the BMW Championship. It was the Western Open for years. It's been at Cog Hill since 1991. But there's a big question mark. What's going to happen? 2012, it's not going to be around here. 2014, not going to be around here. 2013 and beyond is up for grabs. A lot of golfers, Phil Mickelson namely, does not like the new Cog Hill redesign happened in 2008. We'll see what happens. I hope it stays there. I mean, I have some memories back from when I was 15, 16 years old. For the last decade, I've been going there. And it would be sad if it goes somewhere else, especially outside of Chicago. Who can imagine a place like Chicago not hosting any golf tournament at any level? So that'd be quite a surprise there. But it was a good tournament. Justin Rose really came on strong and won the tournament, held on. And on Sunday, a lot of rain Sunday, which was quite interesting. Normally if it rains, it storms. So
right.
You normally don't see much golf in the rain, but it rained, and it was pretty fun to be at, though.
That's very cool. And then we obviously were at some high school events, as well last week. Some football games that were, a little bit lopsided on some ends. Just like when we do our prediction, we saw that some of the games weren't going to be as good. Your game was good for a while there, at least. For a
while, it was good the whole game. I mean, Plainfield Central looked like they're going to jump out at the game of the week. They had a 14-0 lead in the first 3 minutes of the game, about to make it 21-0 when some kind of call on a punter return for a touchdown got called back. I mean, literally, John Jackson in the quote said, the guy was at the 30-yard line. Most coaches are being a little exaggerating when that says it. Literally, that's what happened. He was all the way down the other. I'm not saying it was a penalty or not. I don't know. So it could have been a penalty, but the call was way too late. It should never have been called that late. So whether it's penalty, I don't know, but that turned the whole complexion of the game around. Instead of 21-0, it was still 14-0. North got back, scored a couple touchdowns, tied it up, and it went back and forth from there. A big touchdown before half for North was the difference in the game, tied it up, and they scored 2 touchdowns right away in the second half. Central came back, got the onside kick, had a chance, and it just didn't work out for Central though at the end. It was a big game. North, I think this is going to turn into at least a 6-3 season thanks to this. Central, they have to rally the troops this week at Oswego East. This is a big game, both teams 2-2. So the loser of that game is going to be in a world of hurt. The winner still has a decent chance at the playoffs.
Yeah, my game. I wish it was that good. Bolingbrook, who I've been saying it all year. Anybody who listens to me, Bolingbrook
No one
will
wants to
be
listen to you.
in the class state A. In the Class 8A state championship game this year, I don't see any way that Bolingbrook will not be in there. They're just way too talented, and they took the talent. They put a hurting on Joliet West this week. West, Aaron Bailey from Bolingbrook, junior quarterback, kind of for 5 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 2 passing. West just they held in there early with their linebacking crew led by Matt Coran. Solid group of linebackers gave the Raiders a little bit of problems. Bailey even said once they figured them out, it was all over with. Aaron said afterwards their offense is built for 4 to 5 yards per play. Well, they were getting 20 to 30 yards per play. This one, the big plays is what got them. Joliet West just struggled all game. They lost Stalen Alexander, their leading rusher, to injury, and then they ended up benching Cameron Hargrove, and from what they usually run their Wildcat formation, which has been successful, that ended up they didn't use it at all. So that was a big shock. But we have a new staff member too, which here we're gonna cut it out here in a minute, and our new Niles Downers helper reporter is gonna come in here, take my spot, Mike Sangiolini, and talk a little bit of North sports here with Scott.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Here's Mike Sangiolini, a new reporter from Downers Grove and Niles. If you ever see him out at anything, say hi.
Nice to be here, Scott, and nice to be with the paper.
Well, thank you. You jumped right into the action. You got to see a couple things this week. First of all, talk a little bit about the volleyball match. You went to see Maine East, and it was Niles North, right?
Maine East has a young team right now, and but in spite of the fact that they're young, they've been very competitive. And that was the case against Niles North last week when I saw them. Niles North, though, they have a up-and-coming outside hitter, and she was a sophomore. She's a sophomore now, but as a freshman last year, I guess she really came around this year. She was on one of the national, I want to say one of the national teams that went. Oh, she was on a club team that went down to nationals over the summer. So she's become very polished. And I was talking to the Niles North coach after the game, and basically he told me she basically couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time last year, and she's made quite a leap, I guess, over the summer. And she had 8 to 10 kills against Maine East on last week. So yeah, but you know what? Maine East is starting, I believe, 2 freshmen and a sophomore. So they're a young team, but like I said, they're very competitive. They're becoming and
Team to watch out for then.
Yes, I think at the end of the year, they set some goals for themselves, and I think they're focused on just meeting some realistic goals, and so we'll see what happens with them by the end of the year.
And then you were also at Notre Dame football, pick up their first win over the Leo Lions.
Yes.
It was a must-win game for them, and you think this could springboard them into something else coming up
Well,
here?
I hope so, Scott, because obviously they've lost their first 3 games, and their backs are against the wall. They have to win out in order to make the playoffs, and if they do, this is going to be the 6th straight year that they've done so. There are a couple players that really look good last Friday night. Sean Keane, the defensive end, he's very he's just all over the field, and I think he had a couple sacks in the first half, and really and Leo, the team that they played last week, is a very athletic team. In fact, there's a couple of players on that team that were part of their state championship track team in the spring. So that's a very it was a very athletic team, and Niles Notre Dame did a very good job of containing their quarterback and their running back during the game. And speaking of running backs, there's another fellow for Niles that had a very good game. Chris James, he's a sophomore, and he gained almost 130 yards, and I think he had a touchdown or two, and that's all on 15 carries. So this is somebody, with Notre Dame, they're looking at this guy not only next year, but you got him for the next couple of years. So he's going to be he really turned out to have this is his best game of his career so far, and I'm sure there's many more times he's going to break the century mark to come. So
Well, that's gonna do it for our show. We'll see if St. Viator's gonna. That's who Niles or Notre Dame's got next. They got St. Viator. So
and that's always a grudge match.
yeah, so
Yes.
it should be a good game. St. Viator 0-4. Who's gonna win that game? I'll tell you later on in our next show for the Pigskin Pick'em. But until then, Mike Sander leading. I'm Scott Taylor. This is Sports Inc.